Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you 22 English phrases with proper explanation of their meaning in layman terms and appropriate examples so that it really registers in your brain. But you have to listen with full concentration in order to absorb all the information that I'm about to give you. In the end of the video, I will also be giving you some homework which will help you juggle your memory and practice it, because the more you practice English, the more you practice the language, the more things will retain in your memory. The English words that you once thought were fancy will then become very normal words that you use in daily conversations. Don't you want that? If yes, you'll have to keep practicing. Anyway, we should directly jump into the video because we have a lot of ground to cover. Let's begin. First one, seeing eye to eye. Imagine two of your friends are having an argument and finally they decide to patch up. You can tell them, I'm so glad that you both patched up. You're finally seeing eye to eye. You both are finally on the same page. So when you agree with someone's opinion, it is known as seeing eye to eye. My eyes and your eyes. Example, I'm so glad that India and America are seeing eye to eye on several issues these days. This is just an example, not being political here. Second one, once in a blue moon. What is a blue moon? Every month we have one full moon that occurs. But on some months we have two moons that occur. And the second moon that came is known as the blue moon, which is a rarity. This very rarely happens that in a month you get two moons. So the phrase doing something once in a blue moon means doing something very rarely or occasionally. For example, I love eating ice cream but I eat it only once in a blue moon. Or I love eating pizza but because I'm so cautious of my diet, I eat it only once in a blue moon. So when you want to tell someone that you're eating something or doing something very rarely, you can use the phrase once in a blue moon. Speak of the devil and the devil appears. Or think of the devil and the devil appears. So sometimes this happens, right? That when you're thinking of someone or when you're talking about someone, they suddenly appear out of nowhere. So at that time, you can use the phrase, speak of the devil and the devil appears. Suppose you and your colleague are having a conversation of how bitchy your boss has been lately. And suddenly your boss comes out of nowhere. So at that time, you can tell your colleague, speak of the devil and the devil is here. Or think of the devil and the devil is here. You can also shorten this and say, speak of the devil. Or think of the devil, and the other person will immediately get what you're trying to say. Fourth, piece of cake. When something is like super easy to do and very simple, you call it a piece of cake. For example, you're very good at accounts and the next day you have to give a very important test. And someone asks you, oh, have you prepared for the exam? You can respond to them by saying, that's just a piece of cake. It's like a walk in the park. By the way, walk in the park is also very similar to a piece of cake. It essentially means the same thing. Example, if your parents ask you, how do I use WhatsApp? You can tell them, oh, WhatsApp is just a piece of cake. It's very easy to use. Or Instagram stories are super easy to upload. It's just a piece of cake. Fifth, to kill two birds with one stone. In Hindi, there's a saying, ek teer se do nishana. It exactly means the same thing translated in English. When you do one thing but it leads to two different outcomes or two different successes, it means you are killing two birds with one stone. Example, one day you dress up really well to office and your boss notices that and compliments you. And your crush notices you as well. So at that time, you can use the phrase, I've killed two birds with one stone. That means you did one thing and it resulted in two different outcomes which turned out to be successful. By the way, if you're unclear about any of these phrases, please use the comment section below. I will reply to each one of you and clear all your doubts. Sixth, to cut corners. When someone does something badly, it is known as cutting corners. For example, the builder had built the building so badly that I think he cut a lot of corners in order to make it work. The bathroom tiles were built so badly, I think the builder cut a lot of corners while making this apartment. When you want to say that somebody's done a very shabby or an incomplete job, like ek adhura kaam, you can tell them you've cut a lot of corners while doing this. Seventh one, under the weather. This phrase I've covered in my last video, which is about top 10 phrases that you can use in your daily life. It's a quick 5-minute video. I will link it for you in the description. Definitely give it a watch. In case some of you have seen it, I'll be repeating it here only to refresh your memory. Under the weather is just a fancy way of saying that you're not feeling that well. So if there's a relative's wedding and you don't want to go there because everybody is going to ask you when you're going to get married, you can give it a skip and you can give the excuse, oh, I think I am a little under the weather, so I don't think I'll be able to make it to the wedding. Or if you're genuinely sick and you want to give that event a skip, then you can say, I'm a little under the weather, so I think I won't be able to make it to the event. 8th, to add insult to injury. You know the Hindi saying, jale pe namak chidakna? It's essentially the same thing. When somebody is already hurt and you're adding salt to their wounds and making it worse, it is called as adding insult to injury. Suppose you're really upset about losing a match and someone sarcastically comes and compliments you and says, oh, you're an amazing cricketer. Then they're adding insult to your injury. You're already sad that you lost the match, but on top of that, they are being sarcastic and hurting you. So they are adding to your miseries. Or suppose if your sibling is coming back late from a party and your parents are really scolding them, and you add to the conversation and say, oh, she came late last week also. So you're adding ghee to the fire and making it worse. So when you add fuel to the fire, you are adding insult to the existing injury. So at that time, you will use the phrase adding insult to injury. 9th, let the cat out of the bag. If suppose your friend is having a secret relationship and you happen to see their WhatsApp notifications, you can tell them, I think you can let the cat out of the bag because we already know that you have a girlfriend. Or you can say, we already know about your secret relationship. You can let the cat out of the bag now. So basically you are encouraging someone to tell the truth and come out clean. So whenever you want someone to tell the truth, instead of telling them, please tell me the truth, you can tell them, let the cat out of the bag. 10th. Now this is a common one. Don't judge a book by its cover. This means don't judge something just by the looks of it. Maybe a book doesn't have a great cover page, but that doesn't mean that the contents inside are not good. So you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. You shouldn't judge something by what appears on the outside. For all you know, the book actually might be really good. For example, we sometimes sit in the train and we observe people, and in our minds we judge them thinking, oh, this person may not be very well educated. But when they open their mouth, you realize that they are much more qualified than you. So what you did right there was you judged the book by its cover. You judged them for their appearance, for the way they look. But that's something you shouldn't do because that may not be the truth. People have a tendency to judge other people from the way they look. That is why the phrase, don't judge a book by its cover, was invented. 11th, break a leg. This is a really common one. When you want to wish someone good luck, for example, your friend has a dance performance, you can tell them, break a leg. Instead of wishing someone all the best or best of luck, you can rephrase it and you can say, go, break a leg. I'm sure you'll do very well in the dance performance. So if there's someone in your office who's going to give a speech, you can wish them all the best by saying, break a leg. I know this sounds a little offensive, but this is just English language for you. 12th, when pigs fly. Can pigs actually sprout wings and fly? No, right? When there is like an impossible task in front of you, when you have an idea this may not really happen, then you can use the phrase, when pigs fly. So if your brother who's super lazy and who doesn't want to go to the gym, you want to encourage him by being a little sarcastic, you can say, I think you'll go to the gym only when pigs fly. So you're actually telling the person that this is a rarity, it's almost impossible that this is going to happen, and you're just putting it across in a phrase. Like, the roads in Bangalore will get better when pigs fly. You know that's not really going to happen, at least anytime soon. So when someone uses the phrase, when pigs fly, it means it's very rare that that particular thing is going to happen. There's a very small chance that it's going to happen. 13. Hit the nail on the head. मतलब तीर को सीधा निशाने पे मारना. For example, if there's a heated argument in your office conference room and someone makes a very good point, you can tell them, you've hit the nail on the head. It's like a compliment that you give to people when they make a really good point. That means उन्होंने मुद्दे की बात की, वो बात की जो actual में important है, and you are complimenting them and telling them you've hit the nail on the head. So next time someone makes a really good point, you can compliment them by saying you've hit the nail on the head. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. 14th. This is another easy peasy one. No pain, no gain. जैसा हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है, it's essentially the same thing translated in English. If you don't go through some kind of sacrifice or difficulty, the outcome that you get from it may not be the best, may not be exactly what you want. So you'll have to go through some amount of pain in order to gain something in return. Of course, this doesn't apply to all situations, but we won't get into the philosophy of it because we already have a lot of ground to cover. 15th phrase, elephant in the room. Imagine that there is an elephant in your room. It's so huge, it's right in front of you and you can't ignore it, right? Because it's such a big animal, it's taking up so much of space. So when there is a big problem, it's quite obvious that it exists, but people are just ignoring it out of fear. You can tell them, please address the elephant in the room. Example, if you and your boyfriend had a small argument the previous day and the next day you both are talking as if everything is normal, you can directly come to the point and say, Let's just address the elephant in the room and talk about the fight we had yesterday. जब कोई मुद्दे की बात के अलावा सारी बातें करे, you can tell them, please address the elephant in the room. So for example, if there's someone who keeps changing the topic and you don't want that to happen, you can tell them, please address the elephant in the room and come to the point. जो बात एक्चुअल में आपके मन में है, उसे हम एलिफेंट के रूप में मानते हैं. So जो एलिफेंट है, जो आंखों के इतने सामने है, उस चीज को एड्रेस करना बहुत ही जरूरी है. That is why we use the phrase elephant in the room. 16th, stealing someone's thunder. If you are a Friends fan and you've seen season 7, you will be very familiar with this phrase.
Oh no, now it's about you and Ross getting back together. What? Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder.
Stealing someone's thunder. Suppose you go to your cousin's wedding and you're looking fabulous and everybody's attention is on you and not on the bride. You're sort of stealing her thunder. You're stealing the limelight away from her. You are taking away her importance on her D-Day. So at that time she can tell you,
Thunder being stolen.
stop stealing my thunder. It's my special day. You should not be the center of all the attention. Or she can tell you, you're stealing my thunder with your fabulous dress. Go change. 17th, long time no see. Again, this is a really common one. When you've not seen someone for a very long time and you want to address it in like a very casual way, you can say, long time no see. It's been so long, but I haven't heard from you. It's a really simple but very commonly used phrase, and you can easily use it in daily conversations. You can really up your English game. 18th, that's lit. Now this may sound like a millennial lingo, but the only reason I'm mentioning it here because these days people use it a lot on the internet, especially on Instagram. So when someone says that's lit, that means they are essentially telling you this is amazing. The word lit actually comes from the word light. That means something is on fire. So they're sort of complimenting you when they respond to something that you did by saying that's lit. So when someone tells you, oh, I've cleared the exam, you can respond to them by saying, wow, that's lit, or that's superb. It's like appreciating them or telling them congratulations or well done. 19th, this is a no-brainer. This phrase basically means you don't really have to use your brain to solve this particular problem. This can be very easily done. Example, if you're really good at accounts and you have a test coming up and your peer asks you, have you studied for the test? You can respond to them by saying, accounts is a very easy subject for me, so this test is going to be like a no-brainer. Or if someone asks you, can you make Maggie? You can respond to them by saying, of course, it's a no-brainer. Anyone can make Maggie. 20th, giving someone a cold shoulder. Now for all the girls out there, you can memorize this phrase by remembering the cold shoulder top. When someone is nice to you, what do you say? You say that this person is so warm and nice. And when someone is not so nice to you, you tell people, oh, this person was so cold and mean. When someone gives you a cold shoulder, it means that they are ignoring you. So when you're angry with someone, you can say, I gave him the cold shoulder. Or if you're trying to talk to your boss, but that person is completely ignoring you, you can tell your colleague, oh, my boss really gave me a cold shoulder today. He wasn't really responding to my mails at all. 21st, beating around the bush. When someone keeps changing the topic and talks about everything that is irrelevant and not addressing the elephant in the room, that means that they are beating around the bush. For example, if you want to talk something important to your parents, but except the important topic, they are talking about everything else, then you can tell them, stop beating around the bush and come to the point. Okay, coming to the last one, 22nd, to excuse oneself. When you want to leave a party or an event, instead of saying bye, I'm going to leave now, you can say, you'll have to excuse me for the day. I have another event to attend. When you excuse yourself, you're very politely saying goodbye. For example, if you're talking to an elderly group of people and you have a really important event to attend, you can tell them, I'm sorry gentlemen, but you'll have to excuse me. I have to be somewhere right now. Now, coming to your homework. What was your favorite phrase amongst the 22 phrases that I mentioned today? Make a sentence out of it additionally so I know that you've understood this phrase and you're using it properly. Put it down in the comments below and I'll definitely reply to you. That is your homework for this video. Anyway, if you don't mind, you'll have to excuse me now because it's time for me to go. I will see you in the next video. Bye.